Greetings, everybody. Welcome to a new school year. It's hard to believe that it is already upon us. This is always an exciting time, at least I know for me, I'm sure for most of us, because we are at the doorstep of opportunity. And we are at the doorstep of having our students in front of us again, although they'll be different this year, and we will have a chance to see them grow and learn and explore and discover new things as we move forward through the school year. And that's our job, that's our work. So for me, I want to wish you all a very happy new year as we move forward this morning with our welcome back conversation. So in thinking about the direction we need to go, at least at the start of the year, I think it's really important with all that's going on in our community, both with a little c in BMR, but with that large C community that we know we're dealing with at a national landscape, I think it's really important to anchor all of us in this notion and mindset that this is the year. And we could say that every year, and probably should, to be frank, because quite frankly, the kids don't get another shot at this year. This is their only shot at 2021. Whether they're in third grade, kindergarten, or senior, they get one chance at this. And our students are counting on us to get this right for them. And so I have a very brief video that I'd like everyone to just sit back and enjoy, but really reflect and think about what that means for us in our work with our students in our community. We have 1,700 reasons to get this right. We have 1,700 reasons to come to work every single day to make sure that we are doing our part to help grow and develop our students. And regardless of a pandemic or anything else, any other type of unrest that we are facing, our kids are counting on us to do our jobs right.
This is a year I learned how to read. This year I get to use an iPad.
This is the year I start middle school.
This year I'm a freshman.
This year I get to drive.
Man, this is the year. We finally made it.
So surreal.
Seniors.
This is the year, my one chance to inspire.
This is the year to help students reach for the impossible.
This year, we help young people believe in themselves and redefine what is possible. We change lives. This is the year.
So I hope you enjoyed that short clip. It's really, to me, was a very interesting video to watch because it highlighted a couple of really, I think, important things, both as an educator, but also as a dad, as a parent. The youngster who said, this year I'm gonna learn how to read. And I really want to underscore that for our elementary school teachers, particularly those pre-K to 3 teachers who are working so closely with our youngest learners. And we're bringing all of those kids back into our classrooms because we know that this is their year. And they don't get another chance at kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade. And those formative years are so important for them. And so as we move forward into this school year, I know that our elementary school teachers are going to have a lot on their plates, but they're up to the challenge. I know they are. I know folks are nervous and uneasy with all that's happening with the pandemic, but it is so important for us to understand that our little learners, our youngest learners, don't get another chance. Our seniors, the two, again, they looked like they were, in middle school, but they looked at each other and said, we can't believe we're here. We can't believe we're going into our senior year. We thought last year was hard when we had to take a real sharp left turn in the middle of the spring. And it was. We had to do things very different, from teaching and learning to graduation and our car parades and how do we engage with our students and our community, with each other, and how do we keep ourselves and our families and our communities safe and learning at the same time. But we're stepping into a new year, and those issues are still here. And so I think it's really important for us to come at this with that same vigor and that same level of energy and innovation and creativity, because guess what? We have a new senior class. And while they're not ending their year, we certainly hope, dealing with this, they're starting it dealing with this, right? These kids have been looking at colleges virtually this summer, or thinking about career paths, trying to take summer courses, online, and to prepare for their senior year. And so we really need to be mindful again of those bookends. Our youngest learners, our students who are about to, finish off their K-12 education, pre-K-12 education, and we're going to send them off into the world. And so as we journey into the start of what is sure to be a year like no other, I think we need to keep in mind the reason that we do this work. And we do it for the 1,700 students that are going to be in front of us, whether it's on a computer screen or whether it's sitting in front of us in a classroom. It's going to feel different. It's going to look different. There's going to be a lot of nervousness and anxiety, but as long as we keep our focus on health and safety and making sure that we are providing as much support in all capacities to our students, I am positive we are going to have a successful school year. And so with that, let's talk a little bit about how that's going to happen. One of the things that has been incredibly important to our school system as we've moved through this pandemic, we haven't shut down, right? Yes, kids didn't continue coming to our classrooms, and teachers were doing a lot virtually and remotely, and we were doing all of those things that we needed to do, but the work didn't stop. We have a blueprint for district improvement, and we have an improvement strategy that we have remained relentlessly focused on. So let's talk a little bit about our purpose. We know that organizations just do better when we have a purpose, when we're all moving in the same direction. I had a chance to share this with our new staff at our new staff orientation this week, and I will tell you that it felt very empowering to revisit this. And I hope that all of you have that same sense of empowerment when you see that we are here for a reason. We are here to make sure that our students are happy, healthy, proficient learners ready for college, career, and community, or whatever is next for them. Our purpose has never been more important. It has never been more important. And we need to make sure that we are doing everything we can as the adults leading this system to make sure that our students are ready for this and fulfill our purpose. We also have what often is referred to as a theory of action. We in BMR call it our work in action because we recognize the fact that a theory is just that. It's a theory. We don't believe in that. We believe in the work. You come in, you do the work. And for us, we know that when we do these things, when we fulfill our purpose, and when we act in a particular way as we've outlined in our work in action, that we will get the outcomes we seek. And so I want to want all of us to make sure that we're taking a few minutes to just re-anchor ourselves in our purpose and in our work and action, because that is why we come to work each and every day. So let's shift gears a little bit and just talk about our reopening of schools. And there have been, good grief, I don't know how many Facebook Live sessions, school committee sessions, staff virtual forums. We have certainly done quite a bit of dialogue and communication around how we plan to safely reopen our schools, and we'll continue to do that. That work is far from done. And I am a firm believer that as we continue to navigate the subsequent weeks and months, we'll be having more conversations. We'll be talking about what's working and what's not, what we need to keep, what we need to kind of ditch and do different, and what we need to start, because there might be things that we're not thinking about. But we also know that as we've gone through this process, we have two goals in mind. We have two goals in mind. And the first is to really care for the physical health and safety of our students, for the social, emotional, and for the intellectual health and safety of our students. And that's the whole child approach. The second goal, of course, is to bring back as many students safely as we can to in-person instruction. And that's because we know that when kids are in school, they just do better. By the time our students come back to school on September 16th, they will have been away from our classrooms for 6 months. And that is not to be minimized. And so we know, while there's a lot of fear and a lot of trepidation, and I respect and understand that, we also know that students will start to do better over time when they're back to some level of normalcy. And so our goal has always been and will remain to get as many students back safely as we can. Our blueprint is something that we need to lean into, particularly during times like this. We've got to lean into the work because that document, that guiding kind of principle, if you will, is what's going to help us get to improving outcomes for kids. We have also a set of reopening plans, but I just want to do a quick kind of highlight, 30,000-foot view up again for folks, just to make sure that we're all, starting the school year on the same page with the how of that work. Specifically, our kindergarten through third graders will be coming back to full in-person instruction. That being said, we also have a full remote option for those families, and we have quite a few families taking advantage of that. Our preschoolers, we have a really unique opportunity. We do have full in-person instruction happening for those youngsters, but we also have remote learning, and we have some families who are taking advantage of full remote learning for preschool. For grades 4 through 12, we actually have two options. We have our hybrid option, and we have a full remote option. And our hybrid option, it is what we call a 3x2, 2x3 structure, where 1 week students are in person for instruction, grades 4 through 12, 3 days a week, and then they're doing remote learning 2 days, and then the next week there's a switch. That other group will be in for 3 days, and our other students will be in for 2 days. And so all of those plans are actually posted on our website in English and Spanish. And so when you have a few minutes, if you want to delve deeper into the 110-page document, it's all there to the best degree that we could lay out our plans as far in advance as we could. So let's talk about some of the good stuff. I want to take a few minutes to highlight some of the really good work that has been happening across our school system. What you will see behind me is a slide that really captures specifically the work around curriculum instruction and assessment. And it's really interesting because, again, when kind of March rolled around and we had to start thinking very differently about our work, our leadership team got together and said, how do we keep the work going? As we're learning how to do remote learning and we're learning how to do remote instruction, how do we keep the really important stuff going in addition to that? And so we're really pleased that we can share some highlights with you about the work that's happened. And so we are launching this year, as soon as the kids return, they will have in front of them a world-class literacy program. And for those of you that are not aware, the process that we used in Blackstone Millville Regional Schools to identify the programs that will be in front of our students this fall have been recognized nationally. And we've had national literature written about our little BMR that has been shared coast to coast. And so I could not be more proud of our literacy team with the leadership of Principal Kurt from our middle school, who led that literacy work with all of our teachers and staff. They have done just a stellar job of making sure that we have the most cutting edge, engaging, rigorous materials in front of our students. We'll be using the Wonders program at the elementary level, Amplify at the middle school level, which actually is a customized middle school literacy program designed by middle school teachers for middle school students, and a program at the high school level called StudySync. All three are incredibly interactive. They have a rich, deep base of literature that is diverse in topic and author to help bring forward to our students an experience like they haven't had yet. So we're really eager to launch the year with that. We will also be starting our first full year of STEM Scopes at the elementary level for science, which is a very lab-based, hands-on program. And I know folks that are doing the remote learning might be thinking, well, that's great, it's hands-on, but what about the students who are learning at home? And the program has a very interactive component to it that will allow for virtual labs to take place. That being said, nothing can replace the teacher in the classroom and that direct student-to-teacher work. But there is a virtual lab component to that I think will make a big difference. I'm highlighting that because you might recall last year we were launching new units of instruction for teachers and students at the secondary level, but at the elementary level we just needed more time. We weren't ready. And one of the things I think our school community has learned at this point, that if it's not ready, we're not going to do it. We're not going to rush it, we're going to do it right. And so we took more time. And we launched our new science program at the elementary level after the new year. And then of course, with a couple of months in, things had to shift very quickly. And so we're very eager to reset and relaunch this year, right from the start of the school year, our STEM Scope Science program. I think this third area is something that it's kind of like I think it's a really, it's been kind of our best kept secret. I'm not sure why we haven't gotten more information out to our community on this, but we are launching a very aggressive piece of work into career exploration and career development. The middle school team has written and was awarded a $100,000 grant to explore artificial intelligence, STEM, and all the careers that go along with that to help really engage our students in that science, technology, engineering work, and to help expose our middle school students to the kind of multitude of pathways that exist in those different career pathways or career options. And that is because at our high school, we are now a Project Lead the Way High School. We are going to be implementing this year a biomedical course that over the next few years will lead to an actual biomedical pathway at BMR High School. And so we're really excited about that opportunity. We also are looking at running another course in advanced manufacturing. As many of you know, we started last year through a Blackstone Valley Superintendent Consortium. We were able to pull together some resources to offer that to our students. We had 5 students participate in Advanced Manufacturing 1 and Advanced Manufacturing 2. So we're looking to run that again. And we are super excited to be offering cybersecurity for the first time. And that is a full virtual course that students will be able to take, and that we hope over time will be able to lead to some certification work within cybersecurity. You know, we've been saying for a couple of years now, the goal for our high school is that when you cross our steps in the front, or last year, if you drove under the balloon archway, the idea is to not just have a diploma, it's a diploma and, right? And we know that we have done a solid job of preparing our students for college. We send over 80% of our students off to a 2- or 4-year university, but we know there's work to do still in the career development side of the house, so to speak. So we're very focused on that and very excited to be launching this year those few programs, both at the middle school and at the high school. We're going to be going much deeper into our social-emotional learning. We've done quite a bit of work already, but we're going to be going even deeper with our Choose Love curriculum. Love wins, and we keep pushing forward that notion in our school community and are working on really helping our students to identify their emotions, their feelings, to be able to process those, make meaning of those, and how to help strengthen themselves as individuals in all of those areas. So we're going to continue with that work. And up for curriculum review this year, as you know, we have a curriculum review cycle in our system, our school system. We're in year 3 of that cycle. We are going to be looking deeply at our math program, pre-K to 12, and looking to see what the research says and what we have. Are we using what we have correctly? Are we using it enough? Are we using it with fidelity? Should we stay the course with what we have? Do we have gaps in what we're doing? Do we need a whole new program? Shifting gears, thinking a little bit and talking a little bit about instruction or the teaching side of the work, right? So we talk about the curriculum as those materials and resources, and the instruction is how we deliver all of that. I could not be more proud of our teachers. We have, as we go into year 3 of this work, robust and strong instructional leadership teams that are comprised of our educators in our buildings, in every single building. Our teachers have been working tirelessly over the summer. Quite frankly, the work never stopped in this area, even back to March when we had to do things pretty different. And our teachers have met all summer long, formally, to develop their instructional plans for this school year and thinking about how do we really focus on what we call an instructional focus area. For instance, at the high school, it's critical thinking. And what are those 2 to 3 best practices that we need to adopt across the school, in every school, to help our students become critical thinkers. And so a lot of work has been going on around how we improve our craft as teachers. And so we're really excited about that. And then of course the last part we call assessment, but it's really just about measuring progress. And it's that kind of that pause and checking in on what the students are learning and have they learned what they need to and what we need to do different or more of or less of. And so we're really happy to have some very strong tools in the toolbox to help us check in on that work. The one piece I want to just highlight is that authentic assessment. And you might be wondering a little bit about that. The high school is working very hard, particularly for our students who are venturing off into higher education or the workforce. Putting together an opportunity for students to really show what they know. Because we know in the workforce, regardless of what that workforce looks like, we don't show what we know by sitting down and taking a bubble sheet standardized test. Are they important? Absolutely. Will we stay the course with those? Sure, we're gonna have to. But we know that in the workforce, we show what we know by putting out a really good work product. That's how we show proficiency in our work. I certainly don't give bubble tests to our teachers to see what they know and don't know, right? We look at the work product that we put out. And so we want to make sure that we're preparing our students for that. So there's going to be a lot of work going on at the high school this year around that idea of authentic assessment and really helping students show what they know in a meaningful way. And then of course, from our families, we heard loud and clear the need for more feedback. And we've got to keep that feedback loop much tighter and much more continuous in terms of frequency of feedback to families about student progress. So we are very much dedicated to that and taking those measurements and sharing out with families how the students are progressing through that. We also have a couple of other updates on technology and facilities because as much as it's about the teaching and learning, we still need to have the infrastructure around us in place to do that. So from the technology perspective, we've replaced a bunch of our servers, which, on the outside, we don't really see those things, but our lead tech consultant, Dan, has a great kind of philosophy on technology for schools. I just really love it. And essentially, it should be a non-issue. We shouldn't even think about it. It should just work. Teachers have what they need, kids have what they need, parents have what they need, and we can just move forward. We have over 500 new Chromebooks. At the start of this school year, we will be a full one-to-one K through 12 school system. We will ask for patience from our school community on this. There is a huge supply chain issue nationally that we're up against, and in terms of getting the Chromebooks in. So please be patient with us as they continue to come in from our vendors. And then lastly, I think a really important highlight here is the addition of something that's called Clever. And it's really kind of a one-stop shop sign-in for staff and students. So you log into your computer, you log into Clever, and then everything is right at your fingertips. Facilities, there's no shortage of work that needs to be done there. And we have really hit this work very hard since we hit the ground a few years ago. And so we, at the JFK AFM complex, we have our new windows in, our boilers, our doors. The building looks great from that perspective. We've repaired all the damage on the roof at the complex. It took us about 18 months, but we got it done. The guardrails are up for the snow guards in case we have a bad winter, which I know actually a little part of me died inside when I said that, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But it's safe, and the roof is fixed. We're really happy about that. We are in the process of finishing up now, and it should be finished for the start of the year, our new boiler at Millville Elementary. That's important. You know, if you think back to a year ago or so, we were really worried about the prior boiler, just kind of dying on us, and particularly in the middle of winter. And how do you move forward with teaching and learning and kids in the building when there's no heat? And so we have a new eco-friendly boiler that's going in actually now that we're really excited about. It sounds like a small thing, but it's not significant. It's important to make sure that all of our systems are functioning correctly so that we have safe buildings to teach and learn in. We have a new security vestibule at the high school. So our high school families, there is a double locking mechanism to be able to get into our high school. That is critically important for the safety of our staff and students, and we put safety above all else. So yeah, there will be an extra step for you to get access to our high school main office. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that taking a little bit more time. It's a double buzzing mechanism that you're gonna have to go through, and you will only have access to the main office. You will not have access to the teachers or students. Safety first. So I'm really happy that that is in place for the start of the school year. And for those who don't know, our central office has moved. We are on the Mendon Street side of the JFK AFM complex. We're in the back wing of the JFK building. So we'll have some new signage up. We're at 200 Lincoln Street. So we just moved down the road, but we needed to move our offices so that the nursing office can move to the front of the building and have all of the CDC required provisions that need to be in place so that we can open school safely. So yeah, I mean, this has impacted all of us in terms of almost everything, every facet of our work. Moving forward, I'd like to just take a minute and celebrate our staff. We have some big years of service anniversaries to highlight this year. We are going to start with Tina LaCroix, who is our accounts payable specialist right in our central offices. She has been with the school system for 35 years. So a huge shout out to Tina LaCroix. We couldn't be more pleased to be able to celebrate her today along with the rest of our staff. Celebrating 25 years, we have Wendy Barber, Diane Costello, Norma Lauren, and Robin Nigerian. Celebrating 20 years, Carol Conti, Scott Hebert, Dennis LaRose, Sue Levitt, Christine Martinelli, and Jennifer Solari. And celebrating 15 years, we have Donna Bevan, Lauren Carson, Catherine Finnegan, Mark Juba, and Emily Turgeon. And so normally we'd be together and we could celebrate one another, but I know that our principals will have a special celebration for all of you in your buildings. And I'm with everybody in spirit and could not be more proud of all of you and thankful and grateful to you for your years of service to our students and to our community. So what's still to come as we move forward through the next couple of weeks? We will be finalizing our schedules and making sure that all of the loose ends are tied up. All the bus routes will be done and will be published. Our technology distribution will be done to the best of our ability. Again, understanding we have a supply chain issue that is really out of our control, but we're doing our best to manage that. Our extracurricular activities and athletic schedules will be going out. As you know, there was a big pause put on that at the state level until we got the guidance that we needed in order to move forward with our plans. And so all the final plans will be moving forward with that. And we're also going to be launching some different student orientation type opportunities, meet the teacher type opportunities, so that the first day of school doesn't feel like the first day of school. Because this year, you know, my mantra has always been we only get 180 days, so let's make them count. We don't count them. But this year we only have 170. So if my sense of urgency feels significant, it's because it is. We have 2 less weeks of instructional time with our students at a time that is absolutely critical for them. And so we need to absolutely hit the ground running. We need to make every single minute count, every day count, every student counts. Whether it's remote, whether it's hybrid, whether it's full in person, I don't care. We've got to maximize the full amount of time we have with our students to make as much progress as we can. And lastly, we are truly a District of 1, 2,000 strong, and we are going to have to stay as tightly knit and as tightly close together as we can as we move forward through a school year that is certain to be unlike no other. So with that, we'll wrap up. I want to just thank everybody for their time, effort, energy, the work they've done, the work they will do, and I cannot wait to see the students return to our classrooms in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much.